Hi everybody, today we are going to be making a koala mask, just like this. And as you can see, I'm trying something a little differently today. You can't see me in the video, and that's because I'm wearing the camera actually on my head, which feels kind of weird, but I think it'll work better for you to be able to see everything that I'm doing. So let me know in the comments if you like this better. So getting started, we are making this koala mask, and it is by Dejah Vue Designs. And it's pretty simple. She has a lot of different masks, animals, and other characters. I picked this one because it's very simple. It just has a couple steps and then just one little applique for the nose. So for this you'll need some acrylic felt, and I cut mine to two 6x8 inch pieces, so that'll be just enough. And you'll need a little scrap of black felt. You'll need gray thread, and you'll need black thread for the little nose applique. You'll need some type of hole punch. Now, some people use, it's called a crocodile, and it's for scrapbooking. However, it's $30 at my local Joann's. This right here was about $6.99 at Harbor Freight. It's a leather punch, and as you can see on here, there are all different diameters of holes you can punch, so it's super useful. It's very easy to use. You'll see it at the end of the video. And then for the elastic, you have two options. First, you could use, this is called Barbed Elastic, and at the end here is this little metal piece. And I'll show you at the end of the video how that works. And also I will post a link to where you can purchase those, because you're not going to find those at your local craft store. They're just too specialized of an item, so they won't carry them. Or you can use some elastic, just regular plain elastic. Hi Penny. She wants to be our mascot, I guess. Anyway, this is 1/8 inch wide elastic, and I will show you how you could use that as well. So two options there. So to get started, I already have my gray thread loaded in the machine, and I have my SD card. I'm going to load up the design. There it is. And our first step will be to stitch our placement. Alright, so we've got our placement stitch, and that's going to show us where to put our felt. So we just lay our felt in our hoop and just make sure that the entire placement stitch is covered. And then our next step will be the detail on the ears. Now we've got our ears, we will be now doing our placement stitch for the nose. So at this point, you'll want to trim your jump stitch between the ears, and then change your thread to black. Okay, so now we're going to do the applique. This is the perfect time to use up all those little scraps of felt that you felt too guilty about throwing away. So I have this one, and I'm just going to make sure that it's large enough, and it is. So we just lay that there and stitch the next step. Alright, so we've got our little koala nose. The next step is to trim away your thread and the excess felt. Alright, looks good. Now we want to put the second piece of felt on the back of the design. So we're going to lay that there, make sure it's covering the entire placement stitch, and then take two pieces of tape and tape that felt in place. Or you can use adhesive spray. I just prefer to use this because I don't want to inhale that stuff. And make sure the tape is not in the path of your placement stitch, because sewing through tape is a very bad idea. Okay, return the hoop to the machine, and almost forgot, we need to change our thread back to the gray because we're doing the main outline of the koala. Alright, so the outline, the little mask holes, and the eye holes have all been stitched. So the last step is to sew around the nose part. So I have switched to black thread, so then those stitches are not going to be visible. Okay, and the stitching is done. So that was about 5 minutes worth of stitching. And next, we need to do a little bit of cutting. Okay, now that the stitching is completed, I have trimmed all the jump threads on both sides. And our next step will be to, of course, tear away the stabilizer. So now to cut the eye holes out, what I do is either use a seam ripper to just poke in there and rip a hole so you can get in there and cut the inside of the eye hole there. Or if you're very careful, see how I've folded it right in half, and then take my scissors and just cut a little slit there, just like this. Then what you do is cut almost to the edge, and then do the same thing going the other direction so you have a little plus sign shape. Once you have that, you will tear away the stabilizer inside the eye holes. Nice and simple, and it won't be visible. See? Just like that. Then just take your scissors. You want to use a small scissors for this. And just very carefully cut along the inside through both layers of felt. Just like that. Nice clean cut, you don't see any stabilizer, looks good on the front and the back. So you get the idea. Then you want to cut along the outside edges. You're best off using like a fabric scissors like this one. This is a Ginger brand. Then I have my almost finished one here, and this is one I'll show you how to punch the holes with. So you want to use the smallest hole that you can get the elastic through, so then it's less likely to slip out and get lost. So this is 1/8 of an inch setting, and what you do, you just center the hole punch in the hole so you don't cut any stitching, and just squeeze, and it makes a little clicking sound. I usually move it back and forth to make sure it got the entire thing. And there you go, look at that. Perfect. Then we'll do it on the other side. Center it in that little stitching area. Squeeze, twist, done. Looks perfect. So for your elastic options, the first one you have is this Barbed Elastic, and then what you do is you just push it through, then go like that. Really simple. And then I bring it around because I want this on the back of the mask. Push this through again. See? Perfect. It's all done. Alright, and then the other method, if you don't have the Barbed Elastic, you can just use 1/8 inch elastic. So you can find that in the Sewing Notions section of your favorite store. And you just push it through here. I'll have to angle the edge so I got a little bit of a pointy area to push it through. There we go, see? And then what you can do is just tie this in a knot twice. And then pull it tight and do the same thing on the other side. And then that way it'll stay together, and then plus the advantage is that you don't have this metal piece. So if you have a recipient who's a little bit on the wild side and might lose the mask, or if you're afraid that they might hurt themselves with the metal piece, you can do it this way. So there you are. That's how you make a mask. And you can make yourself an entire zoo of these things, and you'll be all set for Halloween. So If you have any comments or questions, please post them below the video. And I'd love it if you liked the video and maybe shared it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.